part of me is like, did Disney ask for this? Did Disney seek out a director who would then make the story this way? Because that's the direction that Disney wanted to
Yeah.
take their version of Doctor Who.
Yeah. These are the things that conspiracies are made of.
Yes.
These are the things that people are like, you know what? This
Mhm.
this is too woke. This is too liberal. This is all these things, and you give them ammunition. They'll be like, see this, and this. The last time we discussed Doctor Who,
Mhm.
I vowed to support it on the strength that Ncuti was now the doctor, and he's doing his thing in the role, and I was going to give it a chance. I known of Doctor Who all my life because it's been around all the time, but I
Mhm.
had never given it my undivided attention.
Right.
And so I was like, well, this is a new iteration, and I'm gonna support this one just because y'all mad about it, right?
Yeah.
So I did do just that. So
Mhm.
so here is my take,
Yes.
and some people may not like what I'm gonna say.
Ooh. Okay.
We know that Nshuti is a gay male in real life in 3D. And we knew that addressing him being black was something that has to happen. You can't just pretend like it's not a thing on the show or whatever. And then in a world that there's time travel and there's aliens and there's creatures, there's enough going on
Mhm.
to not have to put your personal life into the story.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, Doctor Who's not off to a good start with this new series. It's doing it's doing everything to alienate its core audience. It's like I said, generations of fans, and I think that's the wrong take. You're already switching over to a black lead, so people are gonna feel some kind of way about that. Who cares?
Mhm.
They'll be all right.
Mhm.
But then to add in all the other elements, um, they did it up. And I don't know if this has to do with the fact that the I believe the director that came on board for this new iteration, he was on Queer as Folk, which was a
Mm.
huge show for the LGBT community back in the day, and
Mhm.
he decided he was going to bring all of that here. Here's where things fell apart for me. It's one thing to just kind of have the story exist and have fans reacting online because they're going to have a lot to say anyway, because they're people who have been loyal to this series for decades.
Mhm.
That's one thing. So in the new series, there's currently 3 episodes up on Disney Plus. One of them being the Christmas special that was back in December. They're just kind of rolling them out, and we get introduced to a villain, and the villain in this is played by Jinkx Monsoon, who apparently is a drag queen.
Really? Wait a minute. Really?
Yeah. So who's apparently a drag queen and all this stuff, right? And has done
Yes, I
Broadway and
love
things.
Jinx. She's a winner.
Here's what the headlines are horrendous. And the reason I say that is
Oh.
I I can see where people are getting upset at the fact that this is a thing, and they are feeling some kind of way because it does start to feel like an agenda at some point. The fact that the
Mm.
wait a minute. The fact that the main character, like they were doing cheap little jokes. So when you get introduced to the character played by Jinkx Monsoon, there is hey, whatever, blah blah, and they're like, oh, instead of calling them she or he, whatever he said, oh, I'm they. Who's they? Me, I'm them. I'm the, that stupid stuff. Dumb, dumb, dumb.
Henry, get away from him. Them. What? Me. What? I'm them.
You're who?
You're who?
It's low hanging fruit. But then you hit Jinkx Monsoon are telling them, well, for every fan that, of the show that goes away, we'll get 4 to 5 more new fans. Why are you saying this? You're not the lead. Why are you doing this? Here's what. I already felt some kind of way when I was trying to figure out the gray area. Are they pandering by making a black lead be in this? Or are they just, because remember I told you about the whole thing where the other doctor still exists. So if things got crazy, they could just insert him back in at any point. And, they'd be right back to where they were. So, I was like, okay, are they giving full commitment and full support to Ncuti playing this role? And I don't see him being as much of the problem as Jinkx Monsoon is, because obviously Jinkx is someone who, is going to stand up for LGBTQ rights and all these things like that. But you're smudging the collective. I do think with a show like this, we know that that the core audience is, older, white, usually straight men who supported this for years. You will lose some of them just naturally by switching to a black lead. You will lose some of them naturally by introducing LGBT things. They even had an issue when the doctor was a woman. So there was that. I guess my thing is, when you have something that has a legacy that long and you're trying to introduce new things or modernize it, do you do this? Do you completely throw it all on the core audience and tell them if they don't like it, they can kick rocks on a rainy day? Thoughts?
And this is a British show, just to confirm.
Traditionally, yes.
Traditionally, okay. And so with this new iteration, is part of this whole thing now that part of the change is part of that because they're on Disney? Or has it always been Disney?
Yeah, there are Disney's doing it now, which also is another thing where it's like, okay, Disney gets this property, and so now you have the gigantic beast backing you, and so it opens up the door for a lot of possibilities. But this is where they are weaponizing words like woke. You all are giving them full ammunition to use it and feel validated in it, because you're abandoning the audience that made it what it is today.
I hear you, but is that a bad thing? Like I'm going back and forth with that, because maybe they are going to get a new audience and new viewership. Like literally just by you saying Jinkx Monsoon, I immediately Googled it, and now I'm like, I might go check this out because I love Jinkx Monsoon. So it is going to bring different people. It may alienate some, but it might also make some of those viewers that have been watching for years or decades feel a little bit more included. Maybe they're going to see characters that are like them. Maybe, the core audience might have been older, white, straight males, but there's always been others involved in that. And so people might be able to see themselves in these characters. So I'm not mad at it, really. I, like we said before, when we were talking about Romeo and Juliet, these are fictional characters. Like definitely. This is not a real, it doesn't need to be historically accurate. So it's okay if we want to change and evolve with the times. And if people want to watch the old Doctor Who, baby, they can go watch the old Doctor Who
and be watching it for a while.
Available. It's available. I don't think I'm mad at this.
I don't think so either. I think that what I would have done with this story, knowing the legacy of it and knowing the changes that were about to take place, I don't think I would already be heavy on everything 2 episodes in. Like
out the gate, they hit you over the head.
Yeah. There are reports that the ratings and the actual streams for the series are down drastically from what the original series would be. And that's to be expected, right? But also, I'm kind of like, I'm in this space where it's like, okay, Ncuti is um, a unique performer in the fact that he's Rwandan and
Mm-hmm.
he's Scottish and he's he's a black man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then
Mm-hmm.
he's LGBT. He's a lot of things that you don't come across a lot of the time. And I
Right.
think you would get more mileage out of letting him just exist as who he is without, and this is also the director being a gay white man, feeling like this is where the story needs to go, um without having to push it out so hard on people or make it
Mm-hmm.
part of the jokes and part of the storyline and all this. It doesn't even matter. We're in a world of like, goblins and aliens and time travel and all this stuff. You don't
Yeah.
have to even ever talk about like sexuality ever,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you know? So why are we creating a villain? So even if Jinkx Monsoon was going to come on and be this villain, why not just be the villain? Why insert the they them joke, which was dumb? You know what I mean?
I'm gonna have to check this out because I'm really interested now that
Yeah.
of course,
I
Jinx is
I,
here.
I
But
will.
listening to you talk through this, I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
Let's reconvene.
I just think that there's a way to find a healthy balance in gaining new viewers for a new modern audience. That's fine. You keep the show alive by doing so, and still um respecting its legacy, if you will. I
Hmm.
don't. I could. There's a lot of options for straight white men out there for viewing, for their
Yes,
viewing.
plenty.
You know, so I'm not
Yes.
even caping for them. I'm just like, I. It's so hard to get a cult following like that for anything, and the
Hmm.
cult following is what has carried this show on for this long. Would you really want to abandon it? And then if this goes down in flames, it looks bad for Nshuti and what his career is,
Yeah,
trying to become. And
that's a
then
great
it's like
point.
if it gets canceled or something like this, you put a blemish on the legacy of the show that never had to be there. And just
Yeah.
because you are a black person or just because you are a gay person, whatever, do you feel like you have to be stuck writing those? Of course, you want to include your representation for, you know, people and you and things like that. But do you feel like it's totally just necessary? Like, okay, I'm a gay man. I did Queer as Folk. I'm going to make this new Doctor Who as queer as possible. Are you not able to write just dialogue? Are you not able
But
to just?
the point of me bringing up the Disney thing is like, Disney is very liberal,
Yeah,
they're gay friendly, they try to do the inclusivity thing. So part of me is like, did Disney ask for this? Did Disney seek out a director who would then make the story this way, because that's the direction that Disney wanted to
yeah,
take their version of Doctor Who.
yeah. These are the things that conspiracies are made of.
Yes.
These are the things that people are like, you know what? This
Hmm.
this is too woke. This is too liberal. This is all these things, and you give them ammunition. They'll be like, see this, and this. I would love to be in a world where others exist, and they just do. But we're not in
Yeah,
that world, unfortunately. So
we're not.
I will still be keeping up with it. I don't want Nshuti to lose a check.
Okay, because that's the bottom line.
And it's fun. A lot of people also were saying stuff about it being a family show or something that the family could watch, and now they don't feel like that's the case, because they feel like they would be sitting there having to explain more. Whatever.
No, you don't, because
You
guess
don't.
what? These kids
Most times
know. You don't
kids
have to
don't
explain
care.
this to them.
Most
They
times kids
know
don't care. They just see kooky characters and they go with it.
and they
But
love it.
also, it's like there's two sides to that. There's like, okay, can we just watch something and enjoy it and not have to do all that? That's one. But then it's also like, okay, here's this thing that we're watching and we're enjoying, but it's also bringing up topics of, social issues and things like this that you should want to, you know have with your
Correct.
child, because this is the world that they are going to be growing up in. You halfway through.
Yeah.
So but I'll keep watching the episodes, and if something else comes up, we'll address it. But so far, yeah, just a little gray for me. That's all.
No, I'll be watching because I want to see Jinkx Monsoon. So yeah, thanks for telling me.
All right.